How's it going, everyone? I'm Nicholas Guillermo, founder of Liberty Economy, and I've been in the petitioning business since the year 2000. I'm here to give you an orientation, and I want to give you a little bit of experiential knowledge from the fact that back then when I started, it was doing fundraising. It was door-to-door fundraising, asking strangers for money for petition campaigns. They were petitioning clean water action. We want to get pesticides out of schools in Pennsylvania. We got it passed, put the pressure on the legislatures the old-fashioned way, putting letters, writing letters, and a big lobby of public supported lobbyists, showing the candidate. They had this constituency so rich in the district that they could technically have enough numbers to vote him out if he did not make the right decision on this move, because that would be their advocacy that they do, is transparency over the environmental and health and water laws. And so they put pressure on him and it worked. But you know what's even more powerful? Ballot initiatives. I didn't find that out till 2005, but it was for 3 different years of those 5 years. I did fundraising, clean water action, did great, ran an office, training, bringing people out to the field, helping them go. Clean Air Council, a little higher pay, ran an office, ran a bigger office, brought a lot of people out, recruited a lot of people, helped set up and maintain and secure their office. Florida Consumer Action Network, set up a massive office, did so well, brought all these people in that they sent me on a cross training to Syracuse, New York, helped an office up there get going. Didn't really bring in any people there, but we were just working with their actual management and team at the time. They were just getting started, getting their foundation. And it was a great experience because they needed my help. They flew me out there, all costs covered. I got to travel, love Syracuse, New York. I'd never been there before, and it was wonderful. So I was working at Florida Consumer Action Network, and we were about suing FEMA for insuring the insurance companies we already pay for, making them completely irresponsible. They could never have to pay out any of the money. And the fact that we had to pay them federal money, there was a chance we could sue them into court. So that was the effort. I understand. They also did something with water quality in Tucson. But see, look, I got into a problem with the manager because she smoked cigarettes at the time. And I used to smoke cigarettes, but I quit. I was really focused on my health. But at the time she smoked cigarettes, we got in a little skit about something. She blew the cigarette smoke in my face. And I was just like, nah, I'm done. And I knew I was better than that because I was already the top manager, just short of her. She was like my glass ceiling right there competing with me in that business. And she did that to me, but I just didn't want to be around that atmosphere. I'd already been canvassing enough, wanted to change my experience, so I quit. Didn't know what I was going to do. Worked in a restaurant for like almost a year doing hosting. Okay, I got good with people there too. I used my natural talent to be good with people. And that's what we're looking for in this business, is people that are good with people. And if you don't have that yet, you will be good with people, and hopefully you'll get better as long as you stick it out. Okay, so petitioning is like hosting. You're hosting them to sign the petition. Oh, right over here. And this is where you sit down for sushi. Oh, this is where you sign for natural medicines. Thank you. Just print legibly. It's very simple work. But I was a host for a little while, and I had a problem with the management there after like a year or two. I was there for a year and then found a random job on MySpace classifieds. Okay. They were hiring student credit card marketing. This was independent contracting. I did not know what that meant. Petitioning is independent contracting. But with the student credit card marketing, we had go to the campus, hand out flyers to give out free pizza or sandwiches at a local shop. We were working at pizza the first week, and we were giving out flyers, and my job was to hand out all the flyers to the students. Hey, free pizza, easy enough. Free pizza, everyone's taking it. I show up to the pizza shop. Luke, who's there, signing people up for all these credit card forms, making the money hand over fist for all that. He pays me a cut for doing the flyering. We work together to make it happen. It was great. He sent me on a mission to do this myself. Like, he was tired. He's like, you go it. There's a whole run to go all the colleges of the East Coast, all the colleges back down. I ran it, paid for my own hotel and way, paid for all my flyers, filled out all the forms. I learned how to be an independent contractor, all the costs on me, but I kept all the money. Petitions are the same thing. It was the next year, I was at the college passing out flyers, and I met a petitioner. She's like, oh, you want to help sign to save the manatees? I was like, oh yeah, absolutely. They're so cute. Let's save the manatees. I'll sign. She's like, "You a registered voter?" I said, "Yeah, definitely. I'm registered." I think I might not have even been registered, but this is how petitioning works. People sign all the time just because they like the cause. But at the time, I was like signing, "Yeah, I'll sign that." And she's like, "Oh, you do the student credit cards, huh?" I was like, "Oh, you know about that? I was just about to hand you a ticket." And she's like, "Yeah, we used to do that, but this makes a lot more money." I stood back shocked. What? This makes more money? More money than credit cards? Are you kidding me? How you make more money in credit cards? That's the credit cards. That's where all the banks are. That's the money. She's like, "Yeah, no, we don't have as many rejected applications from fake social security numbers." And that was the thing. And she said, "And we just collect more signatures. We get paid per signature, so we can make a lot of money out here at the college." I said, "Wow, that's incredible." So I had to know more. I had already done activism before. Credit cards paid me the most. She said I could go back to do activism. It really is something that came from the heart. I loved activism, something I appreciated doing. So she gave me some info. I met Mark Jacoby, the infamous Mark Jacoby, the criminal mastermind who works for all the corrupt initiatives across the country. And he rips off everybody that I hear. Lots of personal testimonies from people, myself included. What can I say? He never quite paid me, never was quite fair. He left me out of a lot of opportunities, like he's biased or racist or something like this. And, it's just messed up how he acts. And some people are loyalists, and that's who they want to be with. Cool. I do business a different way. What we're doing is the most legit and transparent way, not the sketchiest way, with no transparency and lots of fraud, criminal fraud, felony fraud, in fact, ripping off workers. I created this system, and this is orientation, not just how to petition, but to understand my system. But I created it out of the response to how much corruption there is in this industry. I wanted to be an activist. I wanted to really know I could do my part, but I did not want anyone to mess with my pay, because my first year, I was ripped off my final paycheck for the week. It was about a week. Myself and my partner Alex's signatures. We each had about $5,000 of signatures. And you know what? We were business partners working together. I'm turning in these signatures to Mark. We're a team. Mark rips me off. Mark rips me off. Both of us are short. It's the end of the petition season, but you know what? The week before that, his mother ripped me off. That was very fascinating that he had her meet up with me. I thought I could trust her. She's a nice older lady, works with a company, family business, family owned, family trusted. I thought, no, she just took my money. I never got paid. I didn't get paid on the spot. I didn't get paid anything. She said she didn't write the checks. Mark writes the checks. See how they play games. That's not how this business is going to work. I made this because I'm sick and tired of the games. So then she had this other scheme, or Jacoby had the scheme, send it to Jenny Breslin, this other corrupt coordinator. Jenny Breslin took my whole package, did not pay me a dime. When I met her in person, I stalked her down, came to her office, the end of the petition season, stalked her down. And she said, "Your validity was so low, we don't have to pay you anything." I was like, this is crazy. This is crazy. It was about $10,000 as well. Okay, down payment on a car, down payment on a house. This is real money. This is people's money. This is absolutely insane. And it's surrounded by such good causes, and that's what's the problem. So here's how we fix things. I have you follow a protocol. You follow that protocol that allows me to validate the signatures daily, so that either at the end of the night or the next morning or the next night, you get paid 100% in full. Okay. It's a very easy system to follow. All you have to do is know how to use Google Docs. If you don't, I can teach you. It's not what this orientation is about. These are simple things to use: Google Docs, Gmail. You have to have a Gmail account. You have to know how to have the Docs folder on your cell phone, along with Gmail, along with Google Files and spreadsheets, because we're going to be using them. And you're going to be uploading your photos to the Google Docs mid-shift, so that we can start validating them. We organize them on the spreadsheets by row, and it's very simple to follow with the sheets. I check them when you turn them in. I validate. They are matching. But when we check them in advance, I give you the report. You can tell how well you did. And if you should have gotten a few voter cards more, or you should have checked about those address changes, you should have checked maybe it was a woman that had married and changed her name. There's all kinds of nuances you will learn. That's what this orientation is about. And we check that, and we let you know whether it's good or bad. So that data can help you improve your performance. You can go somewhere where there's better validity, for example. You might get less signatures, but your validity might go up. And somehow understanding how to have a balance with areas that might be a little tougher validity, you can pass the 75 mark. And if you can find a way to just get smooth 75 the whole time, more power to you. But we'll help you by verifying with you the same day. We get started when you upload the photos, you notify us, we just have enough time to respond. Same day though, every time, like clockwork, 7 days a week. We don't sleep. These campaigns don't sleep for 6 months. Okay, I was born for this. I'm a crew coordinator. I take time off mid shifts if I want to, or anytime. Some mornings I'll take off, some nights I'll take off, but I work practically every single day and I don't sleep. If I'm not working for myself, I'm working for you because I am a coordinator. I am the coordinator here to help coordinate the petition drives, make sure you can do it right. I'm not supposed to teach you exactly how. That's what my book is for. You can buy my book to know all the secrets. This is an orientation, but you will understand how to make this work for you. So first of all, what you need with the petitions is to understand what they say, read them, understand the language, understand what they're explaining, and what the petition on itself requires to be written. It says on the petition, the directions are actually on it, and you will need the city and zip code on all of them, and it needs to be legible, and it must be black or blue ink, no exceptions. This is a legal document. There's no scribbling, no signing on top of printed name because it was put in the wrong spot. There's also no P.O. boxes, got it? It has to be a physical address because it deals with voting districts. No one can have a district of the post office where all the boxes are. They have districts separated in different ways, so we do voting by the physical address. No mailings are sent to the voter. We tell them that. No mailings. And they are not mailed because they're signing by law, by federal law. And you as a petitioner, we get in huge trouble. It's in the petition, in law, not by me, but by authorities if you were to use this for any solicitation. So they have nothing to worry about, but you have to explain to them where to sign exactly, where to print exactly. You point each part. There's 4 main parts. In 5, you say the whole address and zip code. Sometimes you say address, they'll write the number down. They won't write the street. You got to catch them on little things. Or they'll write the street and not the number. I've seen this, okay? They don't write street or road or Ave. You want to ask them these things. It's actually very important. It has to be exact. Now, one thing that's nice, they don't need to put an apartment number. It's the whole building that counts. No apartment number is necessary for non-amenity, but if they're homeowner, it's got to be exact. They have to be registered to vote. And there's 2 crucial qualifying questions you ask to make sure that they are in fact registered, and you can catch them if they are mistaken and not quite sure themselves. You ask them, when was the last time you voted? They should tell you. Maybe it was the last presidential election. Maybe it was 2 presidential elections ago. Maybe it's just a local recent election. Okay, ask when was the last time you voted? You get a date. And say, when was the last time you moved? They'll give you a date. If they moved after they voted, now it's time to update their voter card. Some people have done this. Ask them, did you get a new ID with your new address? If they have not, then it's likely they're not updated, and they should just update with you to be 100% sure. They could put their old address down because that's what would be in the database. But if they updated it later, maybe that'd be a chargeback at the end of the season. You don't want that. We have this little problem called chargebacks, and it can happen, and there's nothing I can do about it. But every single individual petition won't have any chargebacks until the very end. Unless sometimes they bring them up a little early, but these are things like duplicates. These are other problems, like maybe if it was too illegible, even though we could have found it in the voter database, if it's too illegible, if some of it is not legible enough to pass the legal standard, they can cross it off. So we need to make sure we do this right the first time. Ask people to print legibly with the letters not connected. That is not cursive, that is 100% print. That's a great way to do it. No connection of the letters if you can. Make all the letters separate and concise for a very easy visual read, please. You know, you have to ask them if they moved, if they got a new ID, if they did the automatic voter update. Because if they did, then they're probably fine. They can just put their current new address, and that's okay. But ask them those 2 questions I'm going to quiz you. That's to make sure you're paying attention. When was the last time you voted, and when was the last time you moved? If you just ask them, hey, when was the last time you registered to vote? You'll get some pretty good answers. If you ask them, hey, are you a registered voter? They're just going to obviously say yes, they're there to sign the petition. They're there to sign it, even if they're not. They're going to say, yes, I'm a registered voter. Are you kidding me? I always sign petitions. This is where you got to catch them. You say, oh, you might want to sign, but did you vote last election? When was the last time you voted? And they'll have to tell you. You got to make sure they answer these questions, because you can't just let anyone rushing to sign the petition sign, especially with some of these statewides that might attract people that literally just think the petition's so cool, they want to sign, but the validity is garbage. If we focus on those issues that affect the registered voters that they recognize most, like the recall petition to remove Pamela Price, there we go. That's how we can qualify their registered, by making sure we ask people on a petition that registered voters would sign. That's how I would do it out in the field. But let's say you're in some other part of California, you don't have that, and you're just working the legalization of entheogens. It's okay. You can do that. You just have to make sure you really grill people on their voter registration. Are you sure you got the card in the mail? Is it too early to tell if you just registered to vote and you haven't got the card? And make sure you ask them, can you please help me with my job and just do a duplicate voter registration with me here? There's nothing you'll get in trouble for. It just guarantees your signature will count. It takes 25 seconds. Just ask them, say, let's just get your voter card done in 25 seconds, please. Bust out your ID and I'll do it for you real quick. It's really quick. Please just bust out your ID. I'll update your voter card. We need to get a new one done now, because it wasn't soon enough to be in the database. It's all about what's in the database for accuracy. So help me out. Little things like this are what you do to get a voter card registered. And then you guarantee you get paid. When you get the ID, you fill out on the voter card the ID information, ID number, put their name, their address. You can even copy it off the petition, make sure it's the same. Make sure it's the same, or if they're updating, make sure it's legible on the petition so you can copy it perfectly onto the voter card. I'm telling you. And you'll be fine. You just fill that out. You have them pick a party or none, sign and date. There's a couple check boxes. Just check it all out. Your homework is to read a voter card. Know all of the boxes on it. You can go to the elections website and see what it has as well. And so when you know this, you can make sure anybody can sign if they're a citizen. And you're there to help them. You're like a host. Say, look, let me show you. It's really easy. You just take out your ID. I fill it out for you. You just have to print and sign. Make sure it's legible now. That's all we need. And you can get these signers. Okay. When you study the issues, you are more apt to get more signers and debate your way into proper signature collection. That's how the pros will do it. If you research the medical benefits of entheogens, if you research the side effects and truly understand them in comparison of big pharmaceuticals medicine, there are so many arguments to be made about the benefits of these natural medicines that the planet needs, that Californians need and deserve. So you will be better at your job. And if you look deeper into the criminal justice system, what exactly happened in Oakland, when you know the statistics, when you know how bad it's gotten under Pamela Price, you can state those facts and do a better job. She's incarcerating a lot of the wrong people, youth that could have a second chance, not involved in any way helping prevent crime like she campaigned on. And then there's the release and plea bargains for murderers, and there's so much violent crime going on, violent crime on Asians being unpunished, and these things are happening. And she's got such a bad rep, being the worst DA, to be so soft on crime, letting all the worst ones out, and yet trying to criminalize some people that actually probably could have had a second chance if they were under a better district attorney. It's time to remove these corrupt politicians. Every new issue you get into when you research it, You just have to know why, develop a bit of a passion along with the proponent, know why those people are so behind it. And if you can convey that, you're going to be able to find the right people for the signatures. And you just have to be authentic about what the issue is, who it helps, and why. And if you care about people yourself, you will do great. I think that's what it boils down to, is in your heart. Can you care enough to do the hardest thing? You know, the number one fear people have is public speaking, worse than death, apparently. So people would rather die. That's why some petitioners, they'll get the paper, they try to go out, they just want to quit. It's game over. It's so hard talking to people, but no, you got to know how to be fresh. You got to know how to be fresh and always feel fresh and be happy you're alive and be happy you're there to help people, because there's people looking for you. And I'll teach you how to petition more. So when you're collecting signatures, you can go and collect them anywhere there are public people. If they ask you to leave, then you should leave, unless it is the most busy petition location that exists. Then the reality is you need to recognize you have a choice. You could leave and follow their directions, or you could do your job. They try to say you're trespass. This is what your job is. You have to recite the Constitution. You have to know the penal code, the statutory code. Look it up, print it out. I have the resources for you. Have that code, because you're not violating any laws. Nothing criminal is being done petitioning. Yet the police will try to intimidate you, and they will. They can often intimidate you and threaten you with violence simply for not complying. But the deeper you dig, if you tell them to contact the watch commander, this has gone to the Supreme Court, and you have the Supreme Court documents and everything I provide, you should be able to lock down your location to petition at any public mall that's shared. If it's open to the public, they can't discriminate you for any reason to ask you to leave. If it's private, like Costco, for example, then yes, they can ask you to leave and have you trespass, because it's not a public open forum. This has gone to the Supreme Court, and it's the mall owner that owns the property you can petition at. They can tell you that you can't petition in their doorway, that's their property inside. But if there's a public sidewalk and this is part of a shared mall, they can't trespass you from someone else's property, just like I can't trespass you from my neighbor's property. And just like you can't trespass me from my property. Okay, this is public property. And no one can trespass. And they say it's private, you say it's quasi-public. And the reason why it's public is because it invites the whole town where constitutional rights are protected. And this isn't a constitution-free zone at all. You have to understand how to explain this to the officers. This is a pro-constitution zone for free speech, for the rule of law, to allow voters to decide at the elections, and should not be interfered with. And there's penal codes. There's actually election code, by the way. They get in so much trouble, time in jail, and, you know, a fine if they were to arrest you, if they were to commit assault and battery. There's further penalties for doing this to a petitioner. If they threaten you with arrest, that is enough to be liable under an election code violation. So let's look deeper into our rights when you look at those documents and fully know them when you go out to work. Some of the best places to work are totally public places. There's parks that can be very busy. Dog parks, for example, could be busy at a certain time of day. There's college campuses. There's public libraries. There's Department of Motor Vehicles, which would provide a permit when you apply. You can get a permit with them. There's the county courthouses, you know. There's Department of Motor Vehicles throughout all the cities. Those are public. And there's other locations, you know. You have to be crafty and look up. And if you go somewhere that's private and they ask you to leave the house, you try to read them your rights. Sometimes it's better just to like go to the next spot, but other times it's best to just stick it down. And if you can stick it down and lock it down, you become a pro. You can do that, and then you can just milk it for like 1-2 weeks or something, get all the fresh top signatures, and then split, because that's how it's done. That's how pros get the work done. Get all the signatures, move to the next area. Okay. What else do you need to know? But just be on time, have your cell phone battery, pack a lunch, whatever you need to be the best petitioner possible. You know, you meet me at the office, you get paid on the spot when you upload the photos in the middle of the day. You just have to use Google Docs, you upload them, you share the doc with me. I'll be in communication with you in text. We'll get through this. It's very simple to do. You create one doc for yourself. Inside that doc, you have all of the different weeks with all of the different days, with all of the different petitions. Okay, we're going to break it down so the whole season is documented, so you have an auditable track record of all your signatures this whole season, that I will be accountable for paying you. The only thing you owe me at the end is chargebacks. They'll come out of your petitions that don't have chargebacks, so we can get them one way or another, because as you keep turning into me, there's just a little chargebacks. It's minor, but look, I'm going to make up for all that, because unlike any other petition company that has chargebacks, because they all do, I'm the first to pay bonuses in Bitcoin. And all you have to do to qualify for the bonuses in Bitcoin is reach a daily goal of 50 signers a day. But here's the thing. If you can even just do 350 in a week, then you get an extra bonus in Bitcoin. So there's a slack there for one day. And this is like slack numbers. Honestly, 50 is just good enough to make it happen, because I'm in the range of like the 70, 80, 90, 100, 120, 150 ranges. Just depends on the day and location. I want you to get there too. You know, there's only so many spots. It's early bird gets the worm. There's no fighting over spots. There's no turf jumping. If it's one door, it's one person. If it's two doors, it's two persons. Even if there's two sides, two persons. If it's two doors, if it's an entrance and an exit. But if it's one set of two doors where it's just one entrance and exit, one person. Those are the best ones, but it's one person, because you can't be yelling over other petitioners who already got that spot. You just want to be close enough that you can pitch a little loud, but not too loud. It's not yelling, but enough that people can hear you, and you're just loud out there. Ask people, hey, how are you doing? Would you sign here, please? Hey, come on over and sign. Check out this petition to sign. And you say what it is. We're working to help solve psychological problems. We're helping to help trauma victims. We're helping to help PTSD victims. We're helping to help veterans of PTSD, you could say. We're working to help people with Alzheimer's and medical conditions. Could you sign to help people with trauma diseases and people with serious mental pain? Could you help sign for natural cures to stress and disorders that are not addictive? Can you sign for natural cures that don't harm the body? These are all good pitches for the statewide. Okay. And the key is to have short amount of words. The shorter the amount of words, the fewest words possible to get the point across, and to have variety. You want to have variety so you don't sound too stale as well. And another key is to pitch and ask every single person. And you want to get into a conversational style, and you don't always have to ask people to sign. You don't have to even say hello. If they demand that of you, it's just awkward, because your job is to get signatures. It's not a formality. We're just asking people. We're that person asking people in the corner. Everyone hears when we come up. Hey, would you help sign? Would you help sign? And we're getting signatures for this. We're getting signatures for that. You need to be that person. Those are the people that make the money. Because when you ask every single person, you're going to get that person that wasn't asked. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been asked by the other petitioners, because see, that's how it works. You can pitch it to the air and not everyone signs, but when you pitch it to a person, you say, hello, sir, hello, ma'am, hey, you, and you wave, that's where you get the impact. You have to do that. You can't just pitch it to the air. You have to direct it towards the person. There's a lot of people that just cold ignore you. Try to get their attention. They're going to just straight ignore you anyway if they do. You can just try again on the way out if you want. You can ignore them. You'd say, have a good day, if they know they're being cold to you. It's the best option, after people sign, just wish them well, stay blessed, thanks for helping the community. You're the best. Thank you. Those things make a difference in our industry. They might remember you for next time as well. Being polite, being kind to people is key. You can help someone with their groceries, but someone's having trouble walking, someone needs assistance with something. That's a good thing to do. Being kind to the business managers, letting them know you understand they're going to try to remove you, but you have rights, and that you have to feed your family as well. You have to feed yourself, and you're going to stand up for your rights. That's your job. These are all key things to know. You need to be oriented to petition, and you have to be patriotic and know you're doing this for your community and appreciate it for a community, even if it's not yours. Appreciate it's helping people, because when you have that spirit, people will resonate with that. That's what I believe. You have to actually want to get it done. So yeah, research the issues, get to the good locations, find where it's busy. You have to do your own research. All right. And follow the protocol for uploads. That's all there is to it. You just need to follow up with me through text and email. We'll get everything sorted out. You can pick up petitions early in the morning and you can turn them in that night or the next day, and you will get paid. We have a great business now. I am asking people to have flexible payment options. Ideally, you have something like PayPal set up where you can send an invoice to my company that I can pay with a credit card. If you have another option, it could be with a device called a Square. That is great. You can pick those up from department stores. And I seem to have packed mine away, but yes, the Square app is great. You plug that into your phone, take a credit card on the spot. You can also send an invoice. So find out if your bank can allow you to send invoices, and please get ready to empty my bank account. I'll pay you on my credit cards. Don't worry about it. That's actually the best way, because I'm constantly replenishing my bank account after paying people on the front. So I take a lot of risk doing this. The best way you can help me is to upload regularly, keep in touch. How are you doing? If you miss the uploads, I'll take this signal not working. I'm not going to bother you, but we have to have some communication. If there's a final turn in and you are not notified about it, if you do not inquire regularly, that could be your fault. And I'm not responsible if you miss a final turn in. I will always post it in the Facebook group. I will always post it on Facebook, and working on other channels. There's going to be channels for this on Instagram, I'd say, and definitely Twitter we'll be posting. So stay in touch. All right. It's important we're in close communication. You need to know exactly when new petitions are coming out so you can pick those up early too. So daily communication is key. Daily work and daily communication is key. Make it a lifestyle. You wake up, you have your coffee, you eat, you go to your spots, you work, you put pressure on yourself, you find new spots, put pressure on yourself, you get better signatures, you get more signatures, put pressure on yourself, you find new spots, find a new place to work, find a night spot, get even more signatures, put pressure on yourself, and that's how you get to be the king or queen of petitions. You can do this. I believe in you. Make sure you ask questions. The only people not making money are those not asking questions. I hope you enjoyed this orientation, and I will talk with you soon. Thank you.